What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be taking down the stage 5 of the Seriously Serious All-Out Battles here. There is one specific mission for this that I wanted to focus on. I have been playing that event off camera a bit, so there might be a chance I'll redo some of the missions on camera, depending, but I feel like a lot of them are pretty easy, so people aren't really going to need help with them, but this one is really tough. We are facing off against an STR Broly during this stage, so having all type disadvantage there certainly can be a challenge for us. So I did get pretty close to beating this one already, but not quite yet. So I want to make this the main focus of the video. Now, there were a couple of other side missions here in the Inevitable Showdown extra missions. Obviously, just clearing it got us those tickets that we're going to be able to use on the Tanabata banner. And then clearing within 4 turns was not too difficult. I'm sure if you just jump in with like your most powerful meta team that you have access to, like Fuse Fighter or you know, GT Hero, something like that, you're probably going to be able to do this in 4 turns, no problem, right? Pick 1 or 2 of the stronger AGL, you know, DPS units in the game, and that's going to be handled. The Rainbow Extreme team, this is one of the missions I may redo in the video, just depending how long things run here. Well, I used Battle of Fate, so I used the Int Goku Frieza as my leader. There's plenty of options to go around on there. This was actually pretty easy. I'm pretty sure I won attempt. Yeah, with that team, I one attempted it. And that was after trying some other builds with like movie bosses and you know, and super bosses, different things like that. This was the Battle of Fate team ended up being the one. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the event and try and take this down with full physical. I guess there are also a couple of missions tied to the event directly, right, for stage 5. So what did we have here? What did we complete? 6 fusion. Again, not hard, very, very easy to do. The team is just like way too powerful. Oh, okay, and then just clearing it once again. And then this one is for movie bosses, which I have not actually cleared yet, so that'll be another one to do. Which I guess if you're going to do all movie bosses, that kind of is going to satisfy the full extreme. But you would just have to make sure to make it a rainbow team, right? Okay. So yeah, let's jump in. It should direct me perfect straight to the physical team that I was using. So we've got a Fuse Fighter build here, and this is what we're going to attempt to beat it with. Now, one thing I will mention is that I do not have Omega Shenron, so I'm pretty sure he is going to be the #1 pick, the go-to option. I'm pretty sure, like, just as far as any physical unit in the game, he's probably, like, the best, maybe, to be bringing in this event. But I would say that the LR Super Saiyan 4s here are a close second, and the Vegito Blue here is a close third in even. So yeah, this is going to be quite a fun run. We do also have access with the full Fuse Fighter build here to use the Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta as our friend lead, so that's going to help us out quite a bit, not being forced into a physical friend lead as well, right? So one less unit that's going to have to worry about that type disadvantage, hurting the amount of DPS we can put out. Now, the last thing I need to mention before we actually get in, if you notice, there's one unit here that's not on the leader skill, and that would be our boy Glorio. Just because the options are actually pretty slim, this is what we're looking at for Fuse Fighters. This is every single option that we have for physical Fuse Fighters, as far as the units that I own in the game. Maybe there's 1 or 2 missing that I'm not realizing, just because I don't have them, right? But yeah, for this is all we've got. So there really wasn't many better options for me to place on the team. Like, this unit is a decent dodging unit, but he doesn't get access to his full dodge unless there's another all-out struggle unit on the team. None of these other units here are on all-out struggle, so that's really tough, right? And then some of these other units, like the Piccolo, can be decent, but he does need time to build up first, so turn 1, he's going to be really scary. This guy could be somewhat decent as well, but I feel like I remembered him having some restrictions that were scary. Yeah. The 3 or more physical key spheres with guard active, and he's not an orb changer. So that's just going to be a little bit nerve-wracking to come by, but there are a couple of options here that we could potentially switch into if things aren't going to work out. That being said, I did run this multiple times with this team. On one of my first attempts with this team, I managed to get this event down to a sliver of health left. Like, just the little, like 50k HP, maybe. And then I got hit with a super attack on a 70% dodge character. So yeah, really, really devastating stuff. I was almost there. So I know this team does have the capability to beat it. I do also happen to know, though, that we're going to need some insanely good luck to make that happen. So already I can tell you we're off to a bad start here. Just because we were set up on turn 1 with the LR Super Saiyan 4s, not in a position where someone else can go in slot 1 here. Because ideally what we'd want to do is rotate them off so that they're back on turn 4 when they can transform, because turn 3 is going to be a really, really weak turn for them, not having access to their 77% damage reduction. So, but ultimately we probably would just get KO'd in slot 1 here if we don't choose to do that. So I'm not really... man, I guess in order to... Our best shot at winning is going to be this. Because we might actually just take some damage here up front, but maybe live. The main reason he's on the team is because he has a high chance to counter when being supered. And this Broly is going to be supering like 3 times per turn, I'm pretty sure. In fact, I just realized I completely skipped over the step where we talk about... or where we look on the wiki and check out the boss stats. And I think for this event specifically, that's probably going to be a really wise decision. Just considering how highly tuned it is. It's pretty difficult. Okay, at least for all the physical characters, right? Okay, let's try this. Let's see how we do in slot 1 here. Perfect, and we are going to get the counter. So it was a slot 1 super, which is even better. Had that been a slot 1 normal, that would have been bad, because we would have taken a couple 100k HP, or damage, right? So yeah, definitely better that he was able to dodge. Honestly, ideally, this unit only ever gets hit with super attacks. There we go. So he can just continuously counter them over and over and never take any damage. I think the real threat is when he gets hit with a normal. Oh, we didn't dodge this one. Okay, so again, that's the thing where there's a lot of RNG here. We do have to get a little bit lucky. But yeah, had he countered that, the rest of the attacks for the turn would have been normal attacks, and the other 2 units could have absolutely handled those. We would have been sitting pretty. So yeah, as you can see, that we're kind of shaping into the idea here, like what we've got going on, but things are not perfect yet. Okay, so again, a little bit of a frustrating scenario that we keep spawning in with the LR Super Saiyan 4s on turn 1. Always would be more ideal for that not to happen. And this time we do not have the luxury of having a different unit that can go in slot 1. So we literally have to do this, and then just hope that maybe on turn 3 there is a slot where there are no attacks happening, because that does happen sometimes on this event. And then we would be able to... you know, put the LR Super Saiyan 4s in that slot so that they're safe. We're almost able to proc that super attack with Glorio, which obviously isn't the biggest deal, just because he's off leader skill, so he's not going to be doing any damage anyway. There is a damage cap, or like a damage threshold on this stage. So yeah, Glorio, even after his full onslaught of attacks per turn, is probably not going to be doing any damage. In fact, I would be surprised if he does 1 single point of damage throughout the entire game. I think that's pretty unlikely. Okay, so yeah, that is one of the big things that kind of hurts. I'm sure this is going to be true with basically any full physical team that you bring into the game, is that at least half the units on the team don't have enough attacking power to even do damage to this boss, right? So that can be really, really detrimental. I will say that one run where we managed to get him almost KO'd was on a run where we did manage to make it to turn 4. We were able to transform with the LR Super Saiyan 4s. We were able to use their active skill and do a ton of damage that turn, just with them countering a super attack and being able to just deal all of their, you know, normal damage that they do from their super attacks. So if we are able to succeed in getting them transformed, I think that that's going to mean absolutely huge things for us, right? But with this team, it's really just a matter of surviving to that point. So that can be the hardest thing here. I almost want to switch to the wiki and just show you this boss stats while Glorio's doing his onslaught, because literally it's just going to be watching his animation into 0 damage over and over and over. But I guess we might as well just show it off, just in case he gets clipped by that attack at the end or something. But obviously with him having a 70% chance to dodge, it's pretty likely that he's just not going to get touched by anything, which is why he doesn't really need the leader skill. And with the ability that he has to give himself as much ki as he can, you know, just on top of if we're smart about our ki selection, and the fact that he gets 1 million additional attacks, he's going to be supering every turn, and his super lowers attack. And this boss can have their attack lowered, which is going to make like a really, really big difference for our survivability in this stage, right? So, really, really big stuff here. Let's Okay, since we're at a pausing point, let me switch to the wiki really quick here and just quickly review the boss stats. So 200 million HP, which is honestly not too much to handle. Kind of what I was referring to before. If we manage to get one nice like transformation or active skill turnout, we're gonna be chilling. 830k attack power, and then 2.5 million on the super, and he greatly raises attack for the turn after he supers. The thing is, he's got 3 of these. He can super 3 times. He's supering 3 times per turn. He has 0 cooldown, and it's a 50% chance to proc, which means a lot of them are going to be in slot 1. So yeah, this is really tough. Now you can't disable his, or he doesn't have, you cannot reduce his defense. He can't be stunned or sealed, but you can lower his attack, and then he's got a damage threshold. I don't actually know what that number is. I guess we'll have to pay attention to see what the lowest number is that we proc throughout the fight. Okay, I think this is a solid way to keep our rotations. We can't quite get the 24 E with him. We're at 23. Ooh, that's annoying. Okay, I want to make sure we at least get to 18. That'll work. Okay, so yeah, this Gotenks here has 70% dodge. That's going to be really helpful for us. Obviously, he's just here to make sure he dodges anything and everything. That is, in fact, the unit that did not dodge the super at the very end there and managed to get me, you know, KO'd, unfortunately. So hopefully we will not be seeing a repeat of that on this day. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, some of the stronger units on here definitely have the power to apply some damage to this Broly, and even without a crit, he was able to do that, so that's really nice. Oh, I forgot we've also got the attack lowers going on with him, too. Wow, maybe that is going to make this a little bit easier. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, with the fact that he can raise his attack by 50% per super attack that he does, probably is going to way over mitigate the amount of, like, attack lowering that we do to him. It's possible. I mean, we've got 2 units on the team that can apply the attack lowering, so maybe. We'll see. But I'm still just kind of banking on the strat that, like, if any of the weaker units on this team get touched at all, we're just going to instantly get one shot, right? But if we could attack lower him enough to get to the point where, you know, like, Gotenks could tank a normal or something, even if he still took a couple 100k, it'd be better than just straight up dying in one shot, right? Okay, obviously no damage coming from him, not really a shocker there. He also doesn't really have many links active. Obviously, he's capable of getting, like, upwards of a 20 million attack stat, but that would be alongside, like, another Heroes, Patara, you know, like, Fuse Fighter unit or something that's got all the same links as him. Okay. So this is a little bit tricky, because... So we know he's our slot 1 for sure. Right? Just because, again, the slot 1 normals, he'll have some damage reduction against, which means we should probably be able to survive those, and if they're slot 1 supers, then he's got the high chance to dodge. They have nothing. Well, okay, not nothing. They have 1,000,000 defense, but between their super attacks this turn, I don't think they're going to be able to get enough defense to tank, is the thing. So we're probably going to have to depend on Gogeta here, and then just go with the strat of having them, in a slot with no attacks. But I don't know about Gogeta being able to survive this too. I feel like if he gets hit with a super, we're done for, like, for sure, right? He doesn't have... He's just got guard. I think pretty much no matter what, we're done for here if there is a super attack in that middle slot. What's our super attack effect on him again? He's just raising defense... and then greatly raising defense. Yeah, I don't feel like it's enough. They're at least going to have a lot more defense raises, so we know for sure they're going to be able to tank normals. I'm going to do this, because no matter what, if there is a super in slot 2, we're just KO'd, no matter who's there. So let's do this. The only way we could outplay this, the only way, is if we did this, and there were no supers in slot 1. And then he could tank all those normals in slot 1, and then Vegeta would be able to dodge the supers in slot 2. But again, with him having that 50% chance to proc it, I think it's pretty likely that there are some slot 1 supers, so let's just do this. Now, I'm talking a lot through the strategy that I'm doing before I actually make the decisions to do it here. And the reason for that is because I just want you guys to get a full grasp of, like, all of the decision-making that I'm you know, kind of doing on this team. And then only because I'm assuming this is going to take us a million tries. Just because so I mentioned I got really, really close to beating it. That was not like my last attempt. That was one of my first attempts with this team, and then I went back in another like 15 times and couldn't do it. So I know that it is going to take quite a severe amount of RNG for us to really, really hammer through this thing. So I want to make sure that I fully explain, you know, the strat behind every single unit and what they should or shouldn't be doing in the fight. And then once we've got a full grasp on every unit, then I can just kind of play through, buzz through quickly, and you guys won't have to be like second guessing my decision making and stuff. I feel like that would make it a better guide if you're going to try and do it with this team yourself, right? Okay, so right now this is looking like a losing run. We've only faced 2 super attacks this turn, which means there's probably 1 more coming in. Let's see. We did really well on the super attacks here, though. 4 super attacks is perfect for them. So I guess we'll see at their, you know, pinnacle possible defense on turn 3. If they're able to survive this. Let's see. I genuinely doubt it. Again, he's already gotten 2 attack raises. This is the 3rd. Wow! With no damage reduction, they survived that? Well, I'm very impressed. That is awesome. Okay. Maybe we are going to be able to take care of things pretty easily here then. He's got 50% HP left, and we have a pretty safe turn. We've got 3 units with 70% plus dodge on the next rotation. One of which can get hit by anything here, and he's just going to double-digit tank no matter what, right? So, this is looking pretty saucy at the moment. Wow, holy moly. Yeah, that's actually a huge development, realizing that the LR Super Saiyan 4s can survive the supers in this without their damage reduction or being transformed. That's like huge news. Okay, let's go ahead and launch this active skill, get some free damage in here. Gonna get quite a bit of free damage too, if I'm predicting correctly. Yep, nice. Okay. I think I'm gonna do this. This way Gotenks has less attacks to dodge. Let's just put him slot 1, because I don't have faith in Goku to fully finish the rest of the HP on this boss. Because if I did trust him that way, I would just put him slot 1 and then the fight would be over. But I don't actually... This is exactly what I did the last time when I lost. I put the LR Super Saiyan 4s in slot 1 to be able to dodge the slot 0 super. Or counter it, rather. And then they depleted the enemy's HP all the way down to, you know, like a little bit left. Gotenks did a little bit more damage, leaving him with a sliver, and then he didn't dodge. Because we had more attacks in slot 2 that he had to worry about, and I was overestimating the amount of damage we were going to be able to do, and I assumed we'd never get to those attacks in the first place. So I think I'm going to do this, just to not fully 100% repeat the mistake that I made the last time that I got KO'd in this event. And then we'll go like this. Okay, again, not a 24 key super, but pretty close. And then we can actually get the super attack to proc with Glorio, which again, every super attack I can get is good. He is giving himself that minuscule amount of permanent stacking each time he comes back around, so I wonder if it is actually possible for us to get up to enough damage to be able to deal damage to the enemy with him. That would be kind of cool. But also, again, every single super attack that we can do is really advantageous because it just means we're going to be getting 1 extra attack lower. Okay, there we go. We should be sitting pretty for the turn. I'm no longer scared of us being KO'd. Now it's just a question of how much damage we do here. But I think as long as we live the turn, I mean, no matter what, we don't really have to KO right here because we're definitely safe in slot 2. So as long as Glorio dodges at the end, then we fully win because we're going to get the LR Super Saiyan 4s on next turn, right? Yeah, so they're just going to get their active skill at the start of the turn, and then with the active skill attack, that'll be it. Alright, well, I definitely did expect this to take a little bit longer, for sure, for sure. Let's see. Oh, I guess the one thing, I'm pondering the other missions that we have already cleared, because I did mention we were going to do some other missions in this video and just kind of make it a full inevitable mission showdown thing. If this didn't take an hour. If this mission right here took an hour, then I was going to just leave the video at it being this. But because this looks like it's actually... I had to open my mouth, didn't I? Wow. That is a cruel joke. That is so cruel. Alright, jumping back in. Never mind. Well, what I was gonna say... Holy moly. We were just about to run it with the next team. We were gonna go build a movie bosses team and try and take out the remaining mission that we had. As well as maybe showing you guys like a full extreme build. I was gonna run it back with that Battle of Fate team and see if we could do that too, right? But yeah, like, oh, what the heck? Okay, alright, starting over. Okay, so this is how we got things. Again, I think we're looking pretty solid for slot 1 there. Yeah, this should be okay. I think I would rather gamble with having the Vegito in slot 2 here, because he's got a much better chance to, survive non-super attacks after he himself has supered, right? Which I guess, in hindsight there, it wouldn't have mattered because both of those attacks were supers in slot 1, or in slot 0. But again, he would have only had a 50% chance to counter those, whereas the Gotenks had 70% chance to dodge them, so technically just better RNG to put him there. And one more dodge for us? No. Okay. Unfortunate. You can't win them all. He does have a full dodge build, so he's got the 70% in his kit, plus 27 dodge, I believe, in the hidden potential system. Let me see. Pretty sure it's 27. Yeah. So he should be dodging. There's no way I can possibly get another point of dodge on that character. So he really should be chilling. Kind of everybody here is maxed out with equips, to be honest with you. You know, because we've got the LR Super Saiyan 4s have their anniversary equips. Obviously, the physical Gogeta has his memorable battles equips on him. He's got some pretty strong stuff. This guy, I believe, has full dodge equips as well. Let me see. Yeah, he's got a full defensive build here. He does have some additional in his hidden potential build. He's not built full dodge, which probably he should be. Maybe if we struggle too hard, I'll go and change that, but I think for now he should be fine. Okay. This is how we want to run the rotation. Obviously, the friend lead being rainbowed and stuff, he's got all of his busted equips on there. He's good to go. And then Glorio has, and because his kit is good enough for dodging, ironically, we just died from it not being good enough from the dodging, but his kit is usually pretty reliable for the dodging. So I like to put all the offensive stuff on him, so he has an offensive build, which for this event specifically isn't going to really do much for us, because he's not doing any damage anyway, being off-leader skill, right? But his equips are so maxed out for that. Oh, and then Vegito Blue's got an offensive build as well, which I think is going to make a huge difference in this event, because that is one of the strongest attackers that we have on the team, right? Okay, moment of truth. We did not counter that, so we're done for, right? That's another loss. Yeah, we really just got to get lucky with these rotations. I feel it's only going to be like one turn of having to get really, really lucky. Okay, so we get all the power on turn 1 now. So yeah, turn 2 is going to be a little bit scary. Like, you see what keeps happening here? It's just our units are not spread enough for us to be, like, safe, ever. Okay, there's only 3 attacks there. What are the chances that all 3 of those are supers? I'm gonna do this. That way we can get the LR Super Saiyan 4s back on turn 4, so they can transform quicker. Because even though now we know they can survive without the transformation, and they're safe to be here on turn 3, it just means that we're not going to get the transformation until turn 5, and we really, really need that damage. The Scouter's going to be super helpful too. So, yeah, definitely want to just get them back on turn 4 would be the most ideal case. Okay, let's see. We should be safe here. Again, the only real threat is in slot 2 here, which is a singular attack that we have to worry about. So we'd have to get pretty unlucky to get KO'd here on this turn 1. This either has to be a super that we failed the 50% chance to counter and then fail the, what, like 11% chance to dodge. Or it would, well, we did get the additional super here, so I was gonna say it would have to be a normal that hits ridiculously hard for some reason. I mean, there you go. That, I knew we were gonna take damage from it, but I just would have been surprised if we actually got straight up KO'd there, right? Okay, and then now we know we're gonna double digit tank for the rest of the turn with all the damage reduction we've got up. One thing I want to look into on this team build is the Gogeta. I haven't actually gotten an active skill to be able to transform him. I kind of forgot what his conditions are to transform, so we're going to take a look at that on the next turn, because one of the main reasons I brought him on the team in the first place is, or like considered him as a good option, is because once he's able to transform, he becomes a 70% chance to dodge character, right? And then beyond that, he can have the target skill mechanic, which you know, would allow him to fully dodge the entire rotation for a turn. But I don't think that this event is going to ever last long enough for us to get to that point with him. But at least the base transformation, it would be nice to have one turn of the 70% dodge with him. So we'll see if that's something that's proccable. I wonder if it's based on like the units on the team and we just can't even do it. I suppose it's also possible we just can't, there's like a turn restriction with it that makes it happen a little bit later than we've ever been able to have access to. Let's see. Oh, it's just turn 4. Okay, yeah. So that's exactly what it is. All right. Well, again, like we're in a bad way here because we like slot 2 is looking really scary. This really has to be. This absolutely has to be. Oh wait, hold on. Should I put Glorio there instead? He has a high chance to evade. And then for every super attack performed, he's getting 10% up to 30. He'll get the 3 supers. So he'll be at like 80% dodge if I put him in slot 2. And he does get the, yeah, he still gets that same, okay. I am going to put Glorio in slot 2 because then we can have a better chance at fully dodging the rotation and not just eating a super attack and getting absolutely destroyed with our minuscule defense here, right? So that's going to be the better strat. Let me reset the app and then we'll do that. Alright, here we go. We're going to set it up like this. So unfortunately, we're not going to be getting the Glorio, you know, passive active with all the support because he's not in slot 3, so the units on the next rotation are not going to be getting the attack buff, but I genuinely fear that we would even make it to the next rotation if I don't have my rotation set this way. So due to a lack of other options, this is what we're going to go with. I probably shouldn't have selected those same type orbs with him. I just by default wanted to get a little extra HP, but ultimately, like, he has no defense at all, so he didn't really heal much from that. I probably would have been better service waiting till next turn and grabbing those orbs with one of the units that's got like an insane defensive number, right? Okay, but so far so good. And we should still be safe on the next turn too. I don't think we're going to have really any issues here. I'm seeing a clear path already. Even without seeing where the enemy attacks are, it looks like we have a pretty safe way to play the next turn, so that's always good. And honestly, if next turn goes well, then it leads us into turn 4, where all the major stuff starts happening, right? So, yeah, turn 4 is going to be pretty exciting. We're going to have the Scouter up, we're going to have the Glorio support, we're going to have a 70% dodge unit, and the strongest attacker on the team ready to go, who can also counter the supers. So if all 3 of the supers are in the same slot on turn 4, I think we're just going to win, like, for sure guaranteed. But obviously, we are getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, considering we're only on turn 2. We haven't even survived turn 2 yet. Oh, holding my breath. Come on, Glorio, you got this. Holy moly. All 3 supers. He had to dodge all 3. Yeah, I think I made the right call, putting him there. There's no way Gogeta would have had a chance against that. Holy moly. That is insane. Okay, well, now we know we're going to live the turn guaranteed, right? Because there's no attacks at the end here. That is kind of the one saving grace about this event. I think specifically for this mission, where you're probably going to have a couple of lackluster units on your team that are struggling to keep up defense-wise. Oh, beautiful. It's so perfect. Okay, so damage-wise, it would definitely make more sense to do this because of all the possible counterattacks we could get. But if you think about the fact that there are 3 super attacks, and likely all 3 of them are in slot 1 here, there's really only going to be like 1 or 2 counters here, so it's probably not going to give us that much extra damage, and just put us at total risk of him not dodging and then getting flattened by one of these supers, right? So we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and leave it like this, sacrifice the damage we could get just to make sure that we're guaranteed safe for the turn. Which I guess, again, I say guaranteed, it's pseudo-guaranteed. Because technically, we still have to dodge that attack in slot 2 if it's a super. Which we would have a 50% chance to do on Vegito Blue. So we will see. But our links are looking good. The 2 blues linked up together here means that they're going to be hitting quite hard. This should still be a pretty good turn for damage, considering, you know, just considering that. Honestly, if Physical Vegito Blue really wants to go off this turn, that would be magnificent. Yes, there we go. All 3 supers. So that means that the 1 attack in the middle slot is going to be a normal that we can counter for some extra damage, so that's good. That just means our DPS went up for the turn. So yeah, let's see how many of these consecutive supers we can proc. Let's see how many crits we get. Ideally, I want to get him below 50% HP. Ah, he's not supering. Come on. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, that was an absolute fail. That was like horrible RNG for him. We could have had like 5 super attacks in a row, all crits. He would be at like 2 or 3 health bars lower than he is right now. So that was really, really unfortunate. If we don't, he's not below 50%. The reason that sucks is because we're gonna get to transform here just fine, right? But we can't use their active skill for the extra damage. Oh, we can because we're below 50%. Oh, wait. We're chilling. I didn't even consider that part. Okay, so let's see. His first attack and his second attack are both supers. 1 and 2 are both supers. Okay. Watch this cheeky thing. Because both his first and second attack are supers, the 24 key super with him that we're about to launch will attack disable the enemy. Glorio's active skill also attack disables the enemy, which means both of those super attacks would go away. I want to be able to counter those super attacks, so I'm not going to use Glorio's active here. That way only one of them will be nullified and the other one will not be attack disabled, so I can counter 2 of them just to give me more damage this turn. Does that make sense? I think that's the right play here. So let's start by launching their active, since that's just going to be free damage here. Perfect. And then now, hopefully, between all the attacks they do and the counter-attack damage combined, we will be able to just straight-up KO here. And there we go. We got a decent bit of HP recovering. That makes me a little bit more comfy. But again, we're kind of in a position where the HP bar doesn't really matter. Because if any of these characters get tagged, they're either going to be someone that can double-digit tank it, or someone that just straight up dies in one hit, no matter what it is. It really only is like the mid-tier characters getting hit with a normal, right? Like the Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, and the Gotenks, I suppose. Oh yeah, I guess Gogeta as well. Gogeta as well would count. The Super Saiyan Gogeta. Okay, nice. Good RNG with the supers here. Not messing around with a bunch of additional normals, which you love to see. Okay, surely this is the run. Surely this is the run. Come on now. There we go. First counter in. Free damage. Let's see it. What do we got? A whole health bar. Oh, even more. Yes. Yes. And we counter again. Boom. There we go. That's the W. That is the W, folks. Full physical team taken down. Oh, yes. That is so awesome. I actually really love that we had the one kind of cucked failed run in there a little bit ago before we finished that one up. I think that was pretty sick. Definitely cool. Definitely cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say this ended up taking long enough. I'm gonna make this just its own video. So we're gonna go ahead and finish up here. I'm not gonna get overzealous and end up, you know, running this event for an hour and a half here in the same video trying to get all these other missions done. So, or redone rather. So there we go. That is the full physical mission done. Maybe I'll make some videos on the other ones. They just, like I said, they weren't that difficult. I feel like the physical one is the one that people are really gonna need help with. So yeah, we'll go ahead and finish it up here. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. That's gonna do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.